Hey everyone, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, and today we're going to be talking about frozen drops, a new type of scam that I've started to see more and more. We'll go through the very first one, or at least what I believe to have been the first one, and a few more, including one that I recently took a look at. So there's a few different versions of this, but simply you're getting airdropped some tokens and you think there's a lot of value to them, so you scramble to try to figure it out and get the value, and then you get sucked in and taken advantage of. So we're going to be diving into frozen drops today after a quick word from my sponsor.
A big thank you and shout out to my sponsor Cake Wallet, which is an open source, non-custodial Bitcoin and Monero wallet that also has a built-in exchange. It's available on iOS and Android.
Real quick, the way that this first started off was with Kick token, and this was quite some time ago. I didn't really understand what the concept was originally, but I ended up with 888,888. There's a plethora of coins in here that are all like pointless, worthless, but you can obviously find all of your coins in your wallet. You can check Etherscan. It's very easy to find all this. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's quite a few in here that are scams, so to speak. So we'll start off talking about Kick token because there's a few different ways that this is achieved essentially. But when I originally had this in my wallet back in the day, because these are traded on Uniswap, there's values attached to them. So originally back in the day, Kick token used to say, an exorbitant value below it. I believe this is supposed to be worth like a crazy amount as well. We'll dive into that. This says it's worth over $2,000. This is the most egregious. This says it's worth $75,000. Pretty crazy. Someone who is new would think that they were just blessed with the most amazing thing ever, and then they're scrambling to try to figure it out and get this money. And what usually ends up happening is they either get all of their stuff stolen through a smart contract. They give away tons of private information that they wouldn't have otherwise, or they get you somehow to just buy more of their token without realizing that it's actually terrible and there's very low volume and it's just a bad situation all around. So with Kick token, originally when I got this token, I thought, this is really, really cool. You can see here, they mint, and it literally says frozen tokens when they made it. It was when they did their ICO, and then the way that this works was they're saying, okay, but now we're switching over to a new token. So all the old token holders, you can get your money and you can swap over to the new token, but the only way to do this is to go to their website and do it through a smart contract. And what most people would realize later on is that the smart contract is actually written in a very sketchy way to like mess with your money. And you would obviously be agreeing to it really quickly because you're not really looking into this and you just want to get your tokens out. And so Kick was the first, as far as I'm aware, one of the first to do this. And they dropped everyone the same amount. They were frozen tokens. And the way to unfreeze them was to go through their exchange and get your tokens out. But when you go to KickX, I believe, yes, kickx.com, you get all these issues, and you just don't want to even be on this site at all, honestly. Even if you do have Kick, it's not a good situation. I don't know how legitimate any of the other parts of this exchange are, but this was essentially funded with a scam type airdrop. And it's very interesting because most people would assume, well, how can you get scammed if someone's giving you something for free? It's the psychology around it. It's how they're trying to trick you into the scam by thinking that you've been given something really, really great. You just have to kind of do a little bit of legwork to actually get the value. Because if they're really just giving it away, like actual airdrops, and there's many, many popular airdrops out there, you don't need to be afraid of airdrops. Earnify is a good site where you can go and check what airdrops you might have available with your Ethereum address. I was able to get thousands of dollars worth of 1-inch token and Uniswap token, as well as Fourth through holding Ample. There's many different ways to get airdrops. Most people just don't know that they even have an airdrop available. So Earnify was really, really good for that. And I'll put a link in the description because it was fantastic. And I interviewed the founder as well. And he's a cool guy. Anyways, though, with these scam airdrops, essentially it's just that they're doing all of that, but then the token is not just a normal token. You can't just go take what you've received and just trade it. If you try to, you'll realize that it's not working for many various reasons. It depends on the coin. So if we go back and look at my wallet here, there's little caveats built into all of these coins to essentially just prevent you from being able to use it like a real normal coin. P2PS is a very interesting one because I did this through their bounty program on Bounty OX back in the day. It was a great way to earn just random airdrops and earn drops. Clearly, this was not a good situation because I did try to sell this, but I wasted like $100 in ETH gas fees repeatedly trying to sell it, and the transactions kept failing, and I was like, what is going on? And then after a little bit of research, I realized that apparently you need 1,500 minimum to transact. But look at the value, supposedly. If I had to buy another couple hundred, 225 to get to 1,500, that would cost thousands of dollars. So the idea is that you're excited, you can't move it, you want to be able to move it, so you got to go and buy way more to be able to actually do it. But assuming that you actually need 1,500 to move at all, I would presume then that you would have to buy 1,500, not just 225, because for them to move it to you, it would have to be 1,500 as well. Meaning, again, and this is my presumption because I'm not going to try to buy it, you would probably have to spend about $80,000 just to get enough to be able to claim it, to sell this. The idea that they would be, kind of making you hope that would be the case would be that you would spend 80 grand, but then you'd be able to sell the 75 grand and basically almost double your money. But I don't think that is safe at all, and I do not recommend that by any means. If you look at the actual transactions happening for P2PS, I don't think pretty much anyone is actually like making money off of this or trading it really. Yes, there's some being moved around for the people who have crazy values. And I do see that there are, maybe you can do small transactions on exchanges, but I've tested this. I've tried just sending it to a different wallet. I've tried selling it on Uniswap. I've tried a bunch of different things, wasted a bunch of money to do so. This is its own version of the frozen drop where you just can't move it unless you buy more. So that's another variation. So the two variations we have right now are it's frozen and you need to go through their website to get the new version. And this one where you need to buy more to be able to actually claim it. Now we have another one called MNE, Mine Ethereum. This is like a mining token. So this is really just the ability to mine, but you have to spend all of the Ethereum to actually get it started and get it actually mining. And then it will take obviously years to potentially earn that back. And obviously it's not guaranteed either. So this is a mining frozen drop where they're giving you frozen tokens, but instead of having to go through like their website or whatever, you're just basically asked straight up to pay to unlock these locked frozen tokens. DAppy is another one. This one's worth a crazy amount as well. I mean, they're all worth insane amounts. Let's look up DAppy here. So because I haven't really looked at DAppy very much, as an example, I think it would make sense to go here and show you kind of what happens if you were to try to do this yourself. So you're not going to bother wasting any gas fees or whatever if you try to do this. So it says that it's worth $17,000, right? So people would obviously get really excited to see these kinds of things, right? If I put in the other ones, it would be the same. It would be showing me exorbitant amounts of money, $6,000, P2PS is like 70 something thousand dollars. Oh, this doesn't even have liquidity. So this is even less fake legit. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, but here, let me show you exactly what happens if you try to do this. Because the price impact is too high, we'll just do 10,000 since, oh, that's still too high. So we'll do 1,000 because that's $400. I'm going to actually waste my Ethereum here just to allow this, just to show you guys. So, you know, please do like, comment, subscribe, because this is going to cost me like easily like 20, 30 bucks. So yeah. Yeah, it's 30 bucks. So I hope you guys appreciate this, because I could just not do it and I'm sure you guys would figure it out and believe me that I'm not like lying or whatever. But actually doing it, showing you exactly what would happen if you try to do this so that you don't have to do it, is probably the most effective way to really illustrate this and show you guys through and through that this is exactly the case of what would happen. Because I already did this for MNE, I guess I can show you here that with MNE, when I try selling, it doesn't allow me to actually even confirm this window. So it'll just infinitely keep popping up like this, and it'll never give me an actual gas confirmation. So, you know, that obviously doesn't work at all. And I assume we'll probably have something similar for Diapi here. Oh, the transaction failed. See, this is what I'm saying. All of these coins, it's so misleading because it looks like you can trade it on here and then you go to just allow it and the transaction fails. Same if I try to, you know, send P2PS to a different wallet or do anything, the transaction always fails because, again, these are frozen tokens. So people who don't really know what's going on would see this and think there's like issues or something. But this is essentially what a frozen token is. It's not going to be able to be traded or used correctly. But the irony is that because there are people who've, you know, paid to get them unfrozen, or the actual people who did this themselves, the scammers, probably have some of their own that is unlocked, and then they're trading it themselves or putting up liquidity to make it seem like it's worth an extremely high amount of money so that you're enticed to go through the scam entirely. So, I mean, yeah, that was a huge waste of Ethereum, sadly. But I just wanted to illustrate so that you guys were able to see exactly what happens when you try to do this. So you're not going to waste your gas fees yourself. I think this is pretty much all I need to say about this. If you have random coins popping up in your wallet for no reason, I would probably assume that's not going to be safe, because expensive airdrops, they will make you like claim them yourself, because, you know, Uniswap doesn't want to have to give away $10,000 worth of the Uni token if they don't have to. And typically those will also expire. So if it just shows up for no reason, I would be very, very skeptical about it, versus you going out and actually claiming something and it could expire and all this stuff, because you can tell that they're putting in all these measures to try to save themselves as much money as possible, because they are going to be losing money by doing it. Whereas these guys have every restriction possible to ensure that no money is lost, because they're not really going to give you any money. If you get something for free and then you have to spend money or put in a lot of work to actually get it for free, it's probably not free, and it's probably a frozen drop scam. While this has all been on Ethereum, I'm sure you get the same thing anywhere else, on BSC, on all these new chains that are popping up that have tokens of some kind. I'm sure there's probably something similar with Tron. So this is just really just a PSA to let you guys know, if you see something like this, do not fall for it. If you see a crazy amount of value of tokens dropped into your wallet out of nowhere, don't start scrambling to try to get it and, you know, just throw caution to the wind because you're so excited. That's kind of what they're hoping you to be doing. They want you to be operating on a euphoric mindset where you're not really thinking straight. And that's kind of the whole point of this scam. So it's very new. Kick has been pretty old, but it's more so new in that I'm seeing a lot more of this happening more and more often. As you can see with Diapi, they only sent this to me 6 days ago. So there's a lot of these new fresh scams popping up left and right doing frozen drops. Oh, sorry, I guess I'm not sharing my screen when I said that. But yeah, so 6 days ago, and they sent me 300,000, which was supposedly worth about 17,000 Canadian. So I can see why people would get trapped by this stuff and get tricked. But, I'm here to help you guys save as much money as possible and avoid making all these crazy mistakes. While there's a million different ways to get scammed and make mistakes in crypto, I'm trying to go through each of them individually and just give you guys a little heads up. So let me know if this was helpful. Comment in the comments below if you did find it helpful. Let me know what kind of scams are you seeing, because you can actually report scams on Etherscan and potentially get their their token listed as spam so that other people at the very least can figure that out for themselves. I'm not thrilled of the idea of having a centralized spam database for crypto, but it's helpful to at the very least know. So for example, these two at the bottom here are listed as spam. So I'm not gonna bother with them, but all these other terrible ones need to also be listed as spam. So hopefully we can get there soon enough without overstepping and creating a ridiculous database of all these because then you could get legit ones thrown in there too if people don't like it, because the value goes down and you're upset, so then you say it's a scam. Who knows? But yeah, definitely be wary of this stuff, and let me know of anything that you see, scams or otherwise, in crypto, and I will try my best to do a deep dive on it and let everyone know about what is going on in this space. If you did watch to the very end of the video, I really appreciate it. Make sure to comment #1ham in the comments below so that way I know that you did. And, just stay vigilant out there. As I said, there's a million ways to get scammed in crypto, but if you know what's out there and what to look for and what to avoid and the red flags, it shouldn't be an issue. The easiest way to avoid even worrying about any of that is just sticking to the top coins and, not diving into the world of altcoins, let alone shit coins, and just sticking to the top ones and not really, getting into the weeds of things. It would be the same kind of recommendation I would make for someone in the stock market. You shouldn't be investing in penny stocks. You should be building up a very strong portfolio around very blue chip stocks with really good PE ratios. Very, very simple, and it's very easy to follow. Just stick with the top stuff rather than, trying to gamble and get into all the risky craziness. That's how you end up with all this kind of crazy stuff happening. But either way, none of this is financial advice. This is really just financial entertainment, or rather a public service announcement for people to stay wary of this stuff. Anyways, though, thank you so much for watching. I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, signing off. Cheers.